Yay, thanks for joining me today. Oh, wow, hooray. I have a question. I haven't done live in a really long time. Is it better to have my camera oriented in portrait or, oh, that's a little tough. I'm balanced on my laptop. I don't think you can see as well. I think I'm gonna stick here and hopefully you guys can see and hear me okay. Does anybody want to toss a comment in and give me a thumbs up if you can hear me all right? I think the microphone might be covered a little. I'll wait. Awesome, awesome. So nice to see you guys joining me. Thank you. So if you don't know me, my name is Kata. I'm one of the co-founders of Ghost Flower. And I haven't been on this live thing in a long time, but I was just really feeling like it would be a nice thing to lead a flow for the community. And you can see I'm wearing the Wood Pines onesie, which is one of my faves in our second collection. I was going to wear another one, but this one just was calling to me because in Santa Barbara today it's like kind of cloudy, and so it feels like a cozy hug and it covers your whole thing in one joined line, so I couldn't resist putting it on again today. So the onesie is also inspiring me to do the flow that I've chosen, or the theme really. It's the wood element, so we're going to be doing some movement for the hips, the outer hips, the gallbladder channel, and the liver, the inner thighs. We'll also throw in a little bit of shoulder work. A lot of people have been telling me that their shoulders are needing some attention today or this week. There's a lot going on, huh? Do you guys have any requests, though? Is there anything that you would really like? We'll flow for about half an hour, I think. Nothing so far. That's all right. And also, if you ever have any questions about what we're doing here, so I recognize quite a few of your names. It's so nice to have you. But if you weren't so familiar with our brand, we are an activewear brand inspired by Chinese medicine. And so you can see on the clothing, we've used the guide of the meridians or the energy channels to be the design for our clothes. So I'm wearing the wood element onesie right now, and the seams here are running along the gallbladder channel and then the liver through the inner thigh. So when I put it on, I have a physical wearable guide for those lines of energy, and I can use them to kind of palpate, stretch. And additionally, we have little logos along the channels, and those are acupressure points. So that would map out on your body to show you where you can kind of press to help move the energy along. Oh, good, Christina. Thanks for your comment. She's asking for low back and hips. You're in the right place. That's exactly what we're going to be doing today. Perfect. All right. And wanted to say too, I'm in the beautiful Yoga Soup studio here in Santa Barbara. It's not open to the public right now. But I get to come in here and teach my Zoom classes, and it's just the most beautiful space. I feel like I want to just give you a quick view of where I'm at because it's incredible. So there's just, let me flip, how do I flip it? Right now, since nobody's using it, we have all these new additions like church pews, beautiful rugs. This all used to be a space where people would practice. And now this is where I teach and where I'll lead you. So it's one of my favorites. It's kind of nice to virtually bring you back here. All right. Okay, so let's get started. And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to throw a comment in there. I'll try to keep my eye on the comments. But we're going to start out today with a pressure point, liver 5. So you can come into like a cobbler's pose on your sit bones. You might like to sit on a cushion or something. And I think you can see, where did my logo go? Oh, here it is. It's so ghost-like. It's so subtle. But this logo is the one we're after. So if I go up from my medial malleolus about a handprint, and then I'm just going to slip behind the shin bone, I'm finding liver 5. We like to call it liver 5 alive. It's a nice one for an energy boost. So sitting in cobbler's pose, you can find it on each side. And just give it a little rub, see what it feels like. I don't think, if you're pregnant, I wouldn't recommend maybe hitting this one today. So if that is you, then you can start out in cobbler's pose, just settled and checking in with your energy. And for all of us, whether we're pressing on the point or just checking in, there's a few ways that I like to notice and sit with myself. So you might notice what it feels like for your hands to press into this point or to make contact with your body, what it feels like from the palms or the fingertips to be in contact. And if you're pressing a point, the point might feel bouncy or tough or very soft or empty. So that will give you a little bit of feedback too, or clues. And so that's one side of the experience, but then on another side, there's the part of you that's taking in that information. So noticing if you're pressing on a point, what it's like to experience that. Does it feel tender or dull, zingy? And then there's sort of this overall awareness of what it's like to be in this container of treating yourself, receiving your treatment, and offering it, like a closed loop. So we'll just be here for another breath or two. And you don't need to be perfectly still. Sometimes it's nice to circle around. Expand your awareness out to any thoughts or emotions that you might be experiencing as well. I like to bring all of that into the practice. Little hints about the path you're on right now. And then we'll bring the legs together, and we're going to lie down on your back. And I'm aiming to find not the gallbladder channel, but the bladder channel, just a little bit behind it on the hamstring. So I'm on my left side, doesn't matter, but I'm going to cross my ankle over my other thigh. And then I'm going to come up and wrap my hands to the outer leg. Here's where it counts a little bit more. I want you to engage your leg by trying to push it away. Your leg is trying to externally rotate. My hands then are going to take the outer leg and pull it up towards my opposite shoulder. And then the leg again is going to push it away. You might rock your head up, or you could keep your head down. And my arms are going to draw the knee up towards the opposite shoulder. I'll show you also what it's like just keeping my head down. So we're running along that outside aspect of your hamstring, just behind the IT band. And this may also run up along the lower back. So this can be a great relief for your lower back and starting to warm up your hips. It might feel a little confusing at first, the technique that we like to use in our ghost flower practice, engaging the muscle before we elongate. So that means I'm engaging that muscle first, making sure this is contracted and ready to go. And my upper body become the helpers, drawing that leg into elongation with resistance. Safer, and it feels more, especially on the places that are chronic. For a couple more reps, and if you're really, I encourage you to stay for even longer. My cue today is not a ton of exercise, but giving you enough time movement to really go somewhere with it. Good. If you're ready to move on your configuration, but now bring your other leg towards you, so we're coming into a flexion or a figure four stretch. And you might like to settle for a moment to back broadening, but engage right away. I'm imagining that my shake out this way. Because now I'm better channel, so I've moved from my hand to lateral, and this is a long kind of and into the gluteus medius here, the stake. So I'm going to kick my shin quad, that's going to rock me away. I can this area kind of winding up, contracting, and then I'm going to use my arms and my upper body to draw me down. And here's where we're getting the stretch. So yeah, keep your head down. Start at kick your shin away and use your arms pull in. Or you might like a little more movement in the upper body. It feels all right here. Good. Stick with it. Yes, I will do my best to record this so you can watch it again later. I hope I know how to do that. If not, I'll send me a message and I'll send you a flow or something. The other way that you might like this movement is just pressing your shin to your quad again, keeping it alive, but just kind of stirring and rocking. Or go side to side. Kind of noticing what's interesting to you, where your body wants you to go with it, what feels useful. And we'll hold the configuration figure four and just start to rock along your spine. So as I'm rocking and rolling here, my thought is that I'm kind of stimulating a bunch of pressure points along the spine, particularly along the bladder channel. There's some really wonderful points there that help to nourish most of our organs. It's a fun way to just wake it all up. And then rock all the way up to sing. Straighten that bottom leg out underneath of you. I'm going to keep my ankle just resting on the quad and come back to that bladder stretch in a new way. So I'm wrapping my opposite arm around again. Push the leg down with the leg and then use the arm to draw it up again. Back on this outer hip, hamstring. If you find that you've been sitting a lot, stuck, doing work on a computer or otherwise, I find this one to be very accessible. You can stay in your chair, just cross an ankle over and get some lower back relief. Or now if people are looking for adventure, I think they're driving in their cars more or taking road trips. So if you're a passenger on a trip, you could do this in your seat. All right, draw that leg up. Plant your foot down if that's available to you. If it's not, it's okay. Root down through both sitting bones so you're sitting nice and tall. My free hand's gonna prop just behind right along the length of my spine. And I'm gonna use this arm and leg as mutual support. I'm gonna push my leg out a little and then pull in with my arm, and I can feel that support is generating some rotation for me. So rather than kind of going for the twist, I'm allowing the body to help me uncover the rotation and the direction that I want to go here. I'm continuing to press in to find that waking up, that consciousness in this form. Take one more breath. Use your eyes. Look all the way back behind you with your eyes, like you're stretching your eye corners. And then come back to center, unwind. I'm just going to take this foot and place it to the inside of my leg, and then reach forward to my foot. So if you can't reach your foot, you're just going to bend your knee until you can, and I'm finding Liva 3. A main detox point here, a master point. It's right between my big toe, second toe, right where the bones converge. So give that a little try. This one can be useful for bunions if you have some bunion tension. Just checking my time. This is also a really great support for your liver. Chinese medicine recommends pressing this point every single day. And so you can keep the knee bent if that's feeling good, or you could draw the heel down like that. So I'm keeping my hamstring protected, and I'm going to slide the heel out further. Just finding where I'm getting somewhat of a stretch, gentle, and a treatment. Twofer. Again, notice where you're in. What kind of realm are you in? And back up. You can just shake out your legs a bit. Do a little hip swivelly. And then let's find the other side. So come on down to your back. I'm going to go this way so you can see me. Now it's my right ankle. It's the one that we just pushed our point on. I'm going to take it across again. Grab the outside of the leg. Leg is pushing open. And I'm going to use my arms and my torso to draw that knee across and down. Pressing open and rocking down. So I'm exploring this rotation at my hip. I'm feeling this channel elongating as it comes across. This is the bladder channel. Hamstring, lateral hamstring. Yay, hi Michelle. So nice to see you. I'm glad you joined us. So we believe that the meridians track along the fascial pathways, the connective tissue in the body. And this connective tissue is a different kind of substance than muscle. It can be a little bit denser, it has less blood flow, and it takes a different technique to transform. So that's why we are engaging the muscle first and then drawing it into a stretch. That helps to clean up, slide, pull apart the fascia that has maybe accumulated. I feel like I just shared that out of context with you. I was just thinking about the form that our body takes. A lot of that form comes from the fascia. Fascia is getting the cues from your movement as to how to shape your movements. So if you carry a bag on one side for a while, your shoulders are going to change. And the fascia is holding that shape for you in an attempt to make your life easier. But what can happen is it can actually make it harder to break out of these movement patterns. You can stay on this path if this is working for you, or come into that figure 4. I'm going to wrap my hands behind my leg, kick the shin into the quad, try to rock yourself away and feel that glute medius, gallbladder, start to wake up. And then use your arms to draw your legs towards your chest. And just rocking forward and back here. You could be passive as your legs go away, and then active as you draw the legs in. Or if you're feeling like you want to warm up and you're feeling a little feisty, then you could do activation in both directions. As my legs kick away, if I'm really activating, it'll feel like strength training, like weightlifting. And then if I'm pulling my legs in towards me as I resist, this is the stretch phase. And it might feel kind of like a negative. If you were lifting weights at the gym and you're doing the negative, it's kind of like that. Again, your head could be up or down. And if the forward back sagittal thing isn't vibing with you, you can also just keep your ankle, shin connected and try some stirs or some rocking from side to side. Should be some booty action, hips. And then let's take some rocks up and down along your spine. Getting back on all those shoe points along your bladder channel. And we're gonna rock all the way up. Extend your bottom leg out. You can keep your ankle propped on the quad. And I'm back on bladder channel here, stretching the hips. So I'm gonna press the knee down, wrap around, give it a nice stretch up and across. That is the brush strokes, you guys. So there is not really a wrong way to do this in my mind, as long as you are honoring your body, paying attention, and staying connected. You can't get it wrong. Maybe you want to do some like stirry stirs here. Maybe you want to go super slow so you can stay super connected. Maybe you're feeling like you just want to pump it up a little bit. Remember, if I let go of my leg, boom, it would be pressing down. Boom. And let your experience be your guide. What you're feeling here is what matters at the moment. It helps give you cues about where you want to go with your movement. Now I'm going to draw my knee up. If possible, plant the foot down on the mat, anchoring equally through your sitting bones. Free hands, I'm going to prop right behind my spine, getting taller first, and then I'm using the contact of leg to hand, hand to leg to find my twist. You can do a little dance from hand to leg, leg to hand here to keep it conscious with you. Staying with it, going in. And then with your eyes, look all the way to the right corners of your eyes. Really stretch those corners. See something, and then try not seeing anything. And feel how that shifts things for you. And coming back to center, unwind when you're ready. Prop your foot just inside of your leg. You can bend your front leg a little bit and come on down to find liver three, right between your big toe and second toe. Nice detox point. I generally like to press in the direction of the line of energy when I'm here. So once I sort of find the point, then I kind of let my thumb go up, and that feels usually pretty nice. You might also just do circles. It is up to you. Again, if you want, you can play with sliding your heel out a little straighter. I'm really not thinking about the shape and what it looks like, but I'm testing to see if my hamstring feels ready for that, if my lower back feels like this is a nourishing choice. It also just keeps me a little more interested and engaged by finding those edges, but honoring the edges and waiting for the body to say when it's time to push in a little more, or not. All right, come on out of that. Give your hips a shake. I like to Muppet dance. And then let's come around onto hands and knees. Actually, forearms and knees, so let's get into our shoulders a little bit to balance out that hip work. Palms are face down. My elbows are about in line with my shoulders. Your hands can be a little closer together. Spear my elbows down into the mat, widening. It feels kind of nice. I don't care where your knees are as long as you feel supported, like you have leverage here. And as you're ready, you're going to pull your elbows towards your knees, which will send your body forward. Continue to pull your elbows towards your knees as you sit back towards your heels. Again, go for the feeling rather than the range. I want your shoulders to feel happy and safe. And then when you get to that edge, you're going to pull forward again. Keep pulling forward with the elbows as you sit back. I feel like pulling sounds confusing. Your elbows are going towards your knees the whole time. And then as you continuously pull your elbows to your knees, you'll begin to sit back. This is targeting our triple warmer channel in Chinese medicine. It's part of the fire element. Yay, some more people popping in. Welcome. We just started this one, so you can hop in and you won't be imbalanced. I'm feeling a lot running along through here. Notice also there might be a place where if you go back, you kind of drop out or pinch. And that might be an edge. Stay in the strong zone. Test it out. Make sure you can still pull from those arms. Bring yourself forward. Maybe one or two more times. And then coming back to sort of center, I'm going to bring my elbows together underneath of me now, like so, planting those elbows down. Bring your shoulders about over the elbows, but find your level of comfort there. Palms are facing up. Again, press those elbows down into the floor, into the mat, so you can feel your back broaden. And feel some effort to the arm muscles. If you're feeling extra sassy, you can start widen your elbows out to the side. So I'm imagining I'm trying to slide my elbows like this, but the floor is away, so they're not really going to go anywhere. But you can start to light up the small intestine channel in our fire element. Great one for releasing your shoulders and neck tension. Once you've found the spot where you're dialed in, you're on, then I tip a little bit from side to side. Tick-tock. I'm tipping to my right. I'm going to look up to the ceiling and use my right arm to come back to center, reconnect to the effort first. And then I'm going to tip over to my left to the ceiling and check left arm is ready to support and rock me back. So you can go side to side here. If you're working through something in your shoulder, if there's a nagging side, you might choose to hang on that side a few more extra reps and investigate what it is that your body's asking from you right now. You might also change the angle a little bit. Maybe you don't want to be so bent. Maybe you want to extend as you go back. The world is your oyster here. There's so much that you can do and explore, reminding you that your body has its own unique history. The shape that it's taken is based on that history. So we want to pay attention to that. Are we getting warm here? Feeling some things, hopefully. I feel like I could stay on this one for a very long time. Usually there's kind of a threshold where I'm feeling like I should just be done because I'm tired. And then I'll take one more gentle rep and it opens up something new. And then I'm ready to exploring. So again, if you have a little inkling that you want to stick with it, please do so. There may be something revealing itself to you here. Or maybe it's time for a rest. If you're to rest, just sit back. You could take your arms at your sides for an embryo pose. Bow your head. Give yourself land your experience. I'm going to be quiet for about 2 breaths. As you're ready, come back up. I'd like to give you one more for your shoulders. This one will come down to our forearms once again. And now I'm more making like a parallelogram with my arms. And I'm going to make fists with my hands. It just helps me somehow to have these fists. If I wasn't on the floor, my arms would be pushing up towards the ceiling. But because I'm on the floor, those pushing arms are going to launch me back. I can feel a nice contraction around mid-back and into the trapezius. And as I continue to punch my hands forward, toes, and launch my shoulders, my hands, for an active step, punching to send the hips back, and then continue to do that as you launch forward. So I the stretch for the thymus meridian, more esoteric, is unlocking the internal immune system is a helpful one. I also really how it relaxes my neck in some of those hard to places. Feel like giving myself a massage from the inside and then getting stronger. We like to have multi-purpose in our society, right? We like to check a lot of boxes with like one thing that we're doing so we feel efficient. This is one of those things for me. This feels really juicy and valuable. If you're like super funny, you could even lift those knees up as you go forward. If that causes you to lose the form of it, come back down to the knees. It's just if your shoulders feel ready for it. Woo. Anybody else getting warm and breathy? Just me, breathless. Oh, let's just push through 2 more or so. And then come to knees and roll on up, standing up on your knees. I want to see how I'm doing on time and if you guys have any questions. Okay, great. We have time for this. So, standing up on your knees, I'm going to take my right leg out to the side. Make sure it doesn't feel like it's kind of cramping up into your hip, so you can adjust where the leg is to get out of that pinching, and you could also have a little bend to your knee. This is back on the liver meridian. I'm imagining squeezing those legs together. And then plant your hands on the floor. If you had blocks or books or water bottles, it might be nice to be up a little higher for this one, although the floor is perfectly adequate. And I'm squeezing the legs together, and I'm going to shift my hips back. So I'm right along the seam of my onesie right here, liver. And I'm just shifting forward. Oh, thanks for the hearts. Who's sending me hearts? Bonnie! Bonnie! My buddy, my colleague, my bestie, my Ghost Flower Stretch Rascal Queen. So nice to see you. We're stretching liver. I got distracted. I'm just going to do a couple more stretches here with you. Hi. By the way, depending on what feels best for you today, You could keep your toes planted as you're shifting back, or you might have to let your toes rock up. It would shift where we're moving, but maybe that is feeling really interesting for you. So we'll go up one more. And then you're going to center again right over your knee. Come on up. So you're standing up on knee. I'm going to think of this outside arm of bent knee as trying to slide down and contract my gills. And I'm going to take my free helper hand, grab the wrist, and stretch it up and over. Oh, this is babies these days. Getting that whole liver channel. So, wrist, but I'm really trying to pull it down. I'm going to stretch it up and over. I'm always reminded of the energy of liver when I do this one. It's described like a tree. So the energy comes up and then it opens out. Helps us connect into our sense of freedom and flexibility and growth. Let's take more or 10 more if you're loving it. And then just come on down. I'm just going to slide my knee in. Check out the hips. You might like a down dog check-in. I'm sort of paying attention to time because I think that Instagram will kick me off soon, so I want to make sure we give you the other side. But if you need, you can just keep stretching or doing your hips. Maybe you went somewhere. If you're ready to come to the other side, then you can step. This is my left leg, it's just the other leg out to the side. Find where it feels okay. No pinchies. Find where it also feels strong, where you can gather those legs towards the midline, and then planting your hands, blocks, floor, water bottles, and begin taking it back and forth. Give it a chance too. The first few reps, I feel like we're just getting acquainted. And then as you stick with it, there's a little story to tell in there. Again, the toes could swivel up if you want. On this side, I'm kind of curious about the path of my hips. So as I'm back, I'm kind of arcing. Changes things. I'm just hunting around for the interesting bits. Or maybe the bits that I'm less conscious of too. Getting to a threshold where I can start to feel something new showing up. You're welcome to continue here or sit up on your knee and center yourself over that kneeling leg. Now my outside arm is this one. I'm going to hook it down, feel the gills contract, feel the waistline contract. Grab a hold of that wrist and take it over. Feels sort of beautiful, doesn't it? Like beautiful bending bows. I once had a client, I was very surprised. We were doing some liver stretches similar to this, and out of nowhere he just started murmuring like, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I thought, yeah. I didn't even bother to ask him about it. I didn't feel like I had to know, but it was so nice to be with his recognition. just take one or two more. And coming out of it. And let's come to like a down dog-ish kind of posture. I'm not too worried about it, but you can wiggle your hips around a little and check in with your legs. And then just walk your hands back to your feet and find a forward fold, dropping your head. Put your weight a little into the balls of your feet. Feel the backs of the legs lighting up. And gently roll your way up, bone by bone. Ooh. So that was a little mini flow for you this morning. I really appreciate that you were able to join me. I'm going to do my best to save this video so that you can come in and watch it again. Sarah Landon, hi! Wow, I'm really happy that so many of you came in, popped in. I hope it was very useful. So if you have any thoughts about it, feel free to DM Ghostflower, or you can find me at Kata Mrazek. I won't tell you how to spell it, you'll find it. Thank you.